Showing one person in here, but 2 likes. So somebody gave a double thumbs up. Oh, how's Mary doing today? Deb, how are you doing? Jason was not notified. It's all right. How's Oklahoma? Deb, how was the sourdough queen? Having Panda Not So Express. Chinese food does sound really good. Warren, how are you doing? But I did not make enough to come out to Vegas. I am gutted. Oh, Mary. I'm sorry. It's all right. We'll be live plenty. And maybe I'll just need to make it to your neck of the woods. Probably do an East Coast meetup too. For those on the East Coast that can't make it. Corey, how are you doing? Making 100 a day is few and far between. Yeah, it's been rough. Definitely one way or another. I've had a lot more $100 plus days lately, but that's been between Spark and DoorDash and getting really creative. Deb, glad to hear. I'm doing all right. I am exhausted. Not like mentally exhausted, physically exhausted. Got done. Today was so bad out. I came home. I mowed. I trimmed. Put weed killer down around the driveway. Fixed a big flower box. I got a lot done. It was very productive. Just not on the money making side, but stuff that needed to be done anyway. Jason, Oklahoma's still there. I hope so. You got the padding on the rest of the country. Vaquero, how's it going? Wait, my Michael. Mary, 11 months, squirrel level. Corey, 21 months. Vicky got gifted a membership from Mary. Thank you. Deanna, how are you doing? Not bad, a little sore. Replaced all my pads and rotors today. Hey, there you go. See, there's other ways to stay productive, especially when it's slow out in the gig space. Appreciate that, Mary. Nick, how's it going? Making a sourdough with sunflower kernels in it. That sounds good. See, yeah, Michael. Hey, honestly, DoorDash or not DoorDash. God, I'm not going to give them that kind of credit. YouTube has really helped me remember put like names to faces, even if they're profile pictures. because some people like, well, like my channel, Brash Dasher. You guys know me as Brash Dasher, but a lot of you know me as Charlie. And so I see names, right? I see profile pictures, and I remember. Actually, I do remember the names. But don't have to worry about putting that in parentheses, at least not for me, because I will remember. Be like Mike and be a Dallas Cowboy fan. Stream yesterday about drone deliveries. You mentioned a city that is 10 minutes away from me. I got a 50-50 shot of getting this wrong. LA. Rister Bits, what's going on? What's everybody going to do when DoorDash is over? It's drying up in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Probably move on to another app. Always have one in the back burner. Now, that's just it. We're, for all of us, we're kind of playing with fire when it comes to being reliant on one app. But us that have like YouTube channels that are centered around DoorDash, we're doubly screwed if we get deactivated. So I would probably double, triple down on my other channel, to be honest. I'm a stubborn, determined, resilient, always sarcastic guy. Yeah, I've been trying to get Michael to change his profile picture to Steelers. Oh, drone delivery. I don't know why I was thinking robot delivery. Drone delivery. Okay, I was wrong. You've had 3 DoorDash in the past month. Yeah, I don't know if I could change my profile picture to a. If I was a Cowboys fan, I don't think I could change it to a Steelers. No, I couldn't. Couldn't happen. Yvonne, how are you doing? Well, I'm watching your videos. Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad somebody finds or somebody gets something out of them, even if it's what the heck is wrong with this guy? Because there's a lot. Midnight Sky, how are you doing? How's your uncle's shoulder? Good. He had surgery on it yesterday. Anesthesia took him for a trip, and not the fun kind. So he's recovering. He's gonna have to go through rehab for it, because unfortunately it was his dominant side. So that definitely sucks. I'd be completely screwed if I was broke my left shoulder or arm. I would definitely be screwed. So he's got to go through that, and then therapy. So long road ahead, but he's stubborn. But thank you for asking. Keep it active, but that's it. DoorDash, that is. Yeah, if I didn't have to do DoorDash at all anymore, I wouldn't. But then I wouldn't be the Brash Dasher. So and being the Brash Sparker doesn't have the same ring to it. Jason, you've been pulling in the other apps? Yeah, you showed me. You had what was it? Easy Cater? Was it Easy Cater? That was a good order. Did rideshare part time for a year. Uber Lyft recently started deliveries. Wife and I do deliveries together part time. Well, the family or the couple that gigs together. No, the one that worked. The couple that slays together stays together. There. Third time's the charm. Roadie, that's what it was. I can't keep some of these apps straight. Can I say I can't blame a girl for trying? Born and raised Texas girl, but love my Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, how did that work out? Born and raised in Texas, but Steelers fan. Midnight Sky asks, "Can I say joke and no one take wrongfully?" You can try. I mean, it is social media, so you can try. I've said a lot of things in the past that it was taken wrongfully. Either way, honestly, you could say that the sky is blue and somebody's going to argue with you. No, it's not blue. It only appears blue because of the reflection from the sun into the Earth's atmosphere, mixing with the ozone, and that's why it appears blue. Yeah, go ahead. Uh, yeah, Jason is definitely not easily offended. I did get the band-aids off my fingers finally. Yes, I say finally, and it was only Saturday's when it happened, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, I took the band-aids off last night. I'm just gonna let him get some air and heal. If you're messing with metal and sharp objects, I definitely recommend wearing gloves that are cut proof. Don't be like this guy. The irony was that it sliced both of my middle fingers. Yeah, Jason's not easily offended. He's easily offensive. He may not be able to use the dominant arm, but that's why men use. Hey, nothing wrong with that. It's true. From what I've been told. Yvonne says, I give all credit to my dad. He's also born and raised Texas, but he loves the franchise and grew up and the team in general, their values, etc. So I grew up with them. Okay, hey, nothing. Like I said, nothing wrong with that. No judgment. I was actually born and raised in Washington State, and then moved to Nebraska when I was 16. And yeah, I was raised a Cowboy fan. So, and we have the Seahawks. But if you lived through the '90s, knowing the Seahawks, you'd root for almost any other team too. was easy. It was easier in the 90s and the early 2000s to have two teams, to be able to root for the Seahawks and root for the Cowboys, because one was in the at the time the Seahawks were in the AFC, the Cowboys have always been in the NFC. Only in recent years as it's been more difficult to root for both teams, because then I swear both teams do just good enough to hit the wild card, and it's always okay. Is it the Cowboys playing the Seahawks in the wild card weekend? And then I'm the weirdo sitting on the couch at home with my Seahawks or my Cowboys hat and my Seahawks jersey. Got a DoorDash issue. Want to hear it? Yes. In the words of Frasier, I'm listening. I've been binge watching Frasier lately. Midnight Sky, glad he's okay though, just making joke. Hey, no worries. Yeah, no, trust me, I make a lot of inappropriate jokes. I make appropriate jokes at inappropriate times. It's always good to make jokes, lighten the mood. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the video, um, or heard on the news. I think it was a couple weeks ago it came out. I actually saw the video. These It was a funeral, and they were pulling the casket out of the hearse and taking it over to set down so it could be lowered. And whatever wood boards they were using were apparently the same boards that cemetery's been using since like the Civil War. And like half of the pallbearers fell in with the casket. They actually fell in the hole with the casket, and I couldn't help but laugh. Yes, it was inappropriate for me to laugh, but I couldn't help but laugh because I'm going, I guarantee at some point in that man's life who died, who's in that casket, went, I'm bringing you to hell with me. And that was, I couldn't help but laugh. And it was extremely inappropriate. But he didn't want to cross over by himself. He just wanted to take somebody with him. Warren says, I'm originally from Wisconsin, where Mass is cut short on Sundays when the Packers play the early game. That actually doesn't surprise me. Snacky, how are you doing? Yeah, that's my sister. She's Cowboys and Steelers, NFC, AFC. Michael keeps trying to get me to cross over, but it'll never happen. It's okay to have an AFC team and an NFC team. Like I had an AFC and NFC team, but now they're both in the NFC. So I don't know who would I root for in the AFC. I've reached the age that outside of like whatever team I'm rooting for, I root for like individual players. Like Joe Burrow. I like the kid. I think he's still young enough for me to call him a kid, or I'm old enough to call him a kid. Joe Burrow, love watching him. Justin Jefferson, Justin Fields. I feel like so many actually good quarterbacks go to the Chicago Bears and then turn into really bad quarterbacks. So I like him. Always been a fan of Russell Wilson. I got my favorite players. So I'm brand new to DoorDash. Got one order, and then I was waiting for more orders. I kept getting notification, but nothing would show up on the app. Contacted support. She was sent to escalation team and sent all the information. So your acceptance rate, obviously, when you're first starting out, if you get sent 2 orders and you only accept one, it's going to be at 50%. You're not going to have a great bearing on your actual acceptance rate until you get at least 100 deliveries under you. So I wouldn't necessarily worry about it too much. You're in the what we all call, all of us veterans, what we call the honeymoon phase. So anytime I have an issue like that, and I have had the same issue where it keeps telling me that they sent me an order, but there's no order popping up, I will just go in and pause my dash. And then while my dash is paused, I'll swipe down, I'll go into airplane mode. So it completely disconnects from all connectivity. Wait about 30 seconds, hit airplane mode again to go back. Depending where you're at, I would also recommend turning your Wi-Fi connection off, because sometimes if you're out and about and if you've ever connected at a Starbucks or a grocery store or whatever, if you're close enough, it's gonna connect, but it's not gonna show that you're connected. So you're running cellular Wi-Fi, it's going back and forth trying to connect to something. While an order comes through, it might not show up. So that would be my thing. I have never had to sign out or uninstall the app. I've never had to stand on my head either, but generally airplane mode fixes it. Just make sure when you go in, you pause your dash, because if you don't and you go into airplane mode, yeah, they're still sending you an offer, or they could send you an offer. Mullet, appreciate it. Princess, how are you doing tonight? Yeah, Fields we tried, but he's gone now, and Wilson is too. Who is your quarterback now, Yvonne? Conclusion: considering switching Spark to or DoorDash to Spark. I wouldn't divorce DoorDash. It's good to have more than one app. Oftentimes, it's definitely needed. I've had days where I've had both apps on, and I get nothing but Spark orders, and then so I'm obviously doing Spark. And I've had other days where I can't get a Spark order to save my life, and DoorDash is hitting. So it's good to have multiple apps, because just because one app isn't hitting on Monday doesn't mean any of the other apps are the same. So definitely recommend having multiple apps. DoorDash will bend you over. Yeah, they've never once sent out a bottle of KY in their welcome packet. Warren says I restart my phone before every dash, cleans out a lot of crap. It does. It does. I do it. It's good to restart your phone once a week anyway. I know most people don't. And when you have an iPhone, it's even harder, because you turn your phone off and you plug it in and it turns back on. So I do at least restart my phone at least once a week. Us veteran dashers, no, that's true. I'm good, Charlie. How about you? Have good days multi-apping. Yes, so many good days multi-apping. I mean, what was it? Sunday. Sunday, I made, well, with the $40 incentive with Spark, I made $235, and 17 of that was on DoorDash. And yesterday, was it yesterday? I gotta look. This is what happens because every day just ends with Y and they all run together. Um, yeah, so I did 5 on. Well, I had 3 offers on DoorDash, a total of 5 deliveries, for 70, just under $73, and then I had 3 Spark orders for 65. So some days there's one dominant app over the others, and other days it's just pretty even. You can be deactivated for no reason at any time. Yes. Yeah. It's like being in a relationship and getting dumped. It could just happen at any time. You never know. James, how you doing tonight? Plan to switch between Uber Eats and Spark. I'm all about multi-apping. Yeah, and the best thing is between Spark and Uber Eats, your acceptance rate doesn't matter. So I think I have five Spark orders today that I declined in a row. Doesn't really matter. Uber Eats the same way. And both of those apps you can get on without a problem basically anytime. Kind of like relationships, you got to keep more than one. What's that joke? You need to find, men need to find a woman who's great at cooking and a woman that's great at cleaning and one that's good at, you know, and one that never nags. And you need to make sure that these 4 women never meet. It's a joke. It's a joke. I promise. Trust me. I'm single. I'm not the one to give relationship advice. He has tried everything. He gets text, but nothing shows in the app. Told him to delete DoorDash today. He had to go through support, and they wouldn't let him deactivate or delete his account. I wouldn't deactivate or delete your account. I would. Okay, here's an idea. Here's what I would do, because you're able to do that since you guys are together. Yvonne, sign out of your account. Log out completely. And Michael, log into your account. Log out of your account on your phone. Log into your account on her phone. Go online and see if you're able to get orders. Then you might be able to tell if it's your account that's having an issue or if it's your phone that's having an issue. Sometimes there's just some weird little thing in the background. So you might give that a try if you haven't. I have asked, not going to say the name, to turn off phone. Beast was asleep and woke up the next morning and found out he was deactivated at 3 a.m. for no reason. Exactly. Like any of us can be deactivated at any time for any reason. Uber Eats today, 4 hours 66. That's as good as it gets here in Temple, Texas. It's Not honestly, I don't think that's too bad for Uber Eats. I know that feeling. 5 days a week, I leave the house at 4 a.m. and get home after 8 p.m. Whew. Yeah, I was out for 3 hours today. Glad to hear, James. How was your Tuesday if you worked? Or how was your Monday? How was your weekend? You leave Spark on all the time. Uber Eats has more trash orders than DoorDash. I had one. I had because I couldn't. I have no time this week on DoorDash because originally I was gonna leave. We were gonna leave today and come back Thursday to go see my uncle that's got dementia. But my uncle here fell and broke his shoulder, so we're here for that. So I didn't schedule any time here for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So now I just don't have time to dash. But um, so I didn't have time today on DoorDash. It was Spark, and I was like, well, I'll turn on Uber Eats. And this is the one order that they sent me: $5.50, 18.6 miles. There's where I was. They wanted me to drive like 9 and 10 miles over here to pick this order up to drive almost back to where I was at. I was like, well, okay, I'm gonna turn Uber Eats off now. Mr. Ryan, how are you doing tonight? One that never nags, that doesn't exist. Multi apping is like multi dating. Sometimes you get more satisfaction from two than one. I wouldn't know. Good idea. We'll definitely give it a try. Yeah, my like I said, that's the only other option that I can think of. What's worse than your girlfriend sending you a breakup text is for her to follow it up with sorry that wasn't for you. Oh, I feel like that was an episode of Jerry Springer, or it should be. I've not been broke up via text. I did have one drive by my work. I actually saw her drive by my work because I was on break. She didn't see me though, but she drove by, and then 5 minutes later, I get a voicemail saying that it was over. I'm like, wow, you just drove by to make sure I was at work because you knew I couldn't answer my phone. Ryan wrote a book on pregnancy called You're Going to Feel Pressure. Uh, Juicy, yeah, DoorDash and Uber Eats have been slow since January in a lot of markets. Ice Princess says, Charlie, that's W2 and gig, and this woman works hard. That that's an understatement. Geez, 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. Cauliflower, how are you doing? Am I too late this time? Just got home after a crazy busy day. No, not at all. I don't think we've been live too long. I just got done mowing, trimming, fixing a flower box, and spraying weeds before I went live. So I won't use Uber Eats or DoorDash. Why would I pay $15 to have a piece of toast delivered? And as long as it takes, it might turn back into bread. Drain the swamp, what's going on? I hate when you're almost asleep and Spark sends. Fair enough. Ellen, how are you doing? How was your vacation? Milwaukee, what do you think deserves a 4-star rating? Not sure what I did different than a 5-star. I don't know, and I don't know the yeah, I don't know. I have had a customer in the past who told me that he was going to give me a 4-star rating because nothing I could do deserves a 5-star rating. And I'm like, okay. To this person, a 5-star was like absolute perfection. And since there's nothing perfect, there should not be a 5-star. That's what this customer told me. And he wasn't my type anyway, so there was definitely no 5-star happening. Well, we were in contract negotiations with Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. Did a 2-year contract with Mason Rudolph again. I love my boys though, and we'll hopeful ready for football. I know I can't believe that you guys, the Steelers. I'm not going to include you on this because that would just that's insulting. Would not only let Wilson go, but then let Fields go as well when you brought them both in last year to like. If that's the case, then I'm doing a throuple. LOL. I have DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber going all at the same time. That's got to be the most disappointing throuple ever. Jerry. Do I do Grubhub? No, I don't. I do not. Picked up an order at a local barbecue place, and I just happened to notice another order on the shelf. Went about my business, made the delivery, then I got an order request to the same barbecue place. I don't know why Uber did not just double stack the order since I was already there. You probably would not have wanted them to double stack it because they pay like crap on stacks, just like DoorDash does. So, I mean, you could have been. It would have been at least $2 or less, and that's if the base pay wasn't boosted. So, I don't know. I've had orders where, especially shopping orders, where I'll do an order, I'll go drop it off, I'll get an order right back at that same store, and I'm going right back in that same direction. And yes, I've thought, why didn't they just stack it? And on the flip side, I'm going, okay, I'm actually glad they didn't stack it because I would have gotten like 675, maybe 775 base for the stacked shopping order. But now I'm getting 675 base for each of them plus whatever the tips were. So it just depends. Thanks, Charlie, but no need. It will stop in a couple months. Well, I guess take advantage of it while you can. I knew DoorDash used to be good early mornings, 6 a.m. years ago. Nowadays, it doesn't pick up till 8 a.m. or after around here. Yeah, I don't generally start doing DoorDash or the gig apps until maybe 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock at the earliest. Now, I know Ryan and a few other of you guys are out earlier, like much earlier, 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Lincoln, when I was in Nebraska, it sucked. It sucked before 10:30. There was no point. Here, it's kind of the same way. Now, I could probably. No. Because I've even tried getting on Spark at like 9:30 almost every day for a week and got nothing until 10:30 or 11. So I'll just go ahead and take that extra hour of sleep or do something else until then. Cauliflower, I did not. I did an extension like I do pretty much every year. It will love a restaurant but give it a 3-star. Yeah, that I don't know why you would do that. Put 2 orders together to polish a turd and make it look good, but it's still a turd. Yes. James, how's it going? Thought I saw a "Don't Tread on Me" tattoo on a recent video. If so, what does that mean to you? I do have a. It's upside down, and my arm doesn't quite go that way. God dang it! Here. There. Yes. That probably helped. What does it mean to me? For me, it means that we all have the freedom to do what we want to do as long as we're not hurting somebody else. And my freedom to be me is my freedom, or your freedom to be you is my freedom to be free of you. So we don't have to agree. None of us have to agree on everything. Married couples don't agree on anything, or not anything. Well, probably maybe some married couples don't agree on anything. No married couple agrees on everything. So be you, make your money, you know, have some morals, have some ethics, and let me do the same. You don't have to agree with how I do things. I don't have to agree with how you do things. But as long as you're not hurting anybody else in the process, you do you, I'll do me. I have a lot of probably, I call them historical tattoos. Traffic here weekdays gets bad at 3:30, so I want most hours. Want the most hours before then. Yeah, that's one reason I will not. Well, that's one of many reasons I actually won't ever go to Portland for an order because traffic starts about 3:30, 3:30, and I have to cross a big bridge to get from the Washington side into Portland, which means as long as it takes me to get into Portland, it's going to take me that much longer to get out of Portland. So no, I have yet to see an order worth taking. Vaughn and I enjoy your videos very much. Informative, relevant info with deliveries and entertaining. Your brashness has grown on us. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm not trying to be anybody other than me. Or even popular. I'm not even trying to be popular. Kind of weird for a gig tuber to say, or a YouTuber, content creator, whatever you want to call me. Phil's got 40 million contracts from the Jets, and he wants to play for their new head coach. I think it was Phil's decision to leave. Yeah, I hope he benefits, and I hope he's actually like the first good Jets quarterback in a really, really long time. It's been so long, I can't think of the last good quarterback they've had. Warren, I like that. I can't make people agree with me. They have the right to be wrong. So much. No one truly prepares you to be an adult till you're an actual adult. And that's the biggest mistake I made in my life, was becoming an adult. Nobody agrees with me. That's fine, says Jason. Don't disagree with him on that, because then you're just proving his point. Sounds like my driving over here in Clearwater every day. Yeah, I don't. Maybe the orders are better over there. I've seen a lot of really crappy orders going to Portland, and I watch the news enough when it comes to Portland that I'm like, no. Always good to feel a bit brashy. There's nothing wrong with being a little brash. It means you won't take crap off of people. You can still be respectful, but it just means you're not a doormat. Michael, was it you that asked a while back? And by a while back, I mean probably within like the last 3 weeks, how I stay so calm in traffic and on orders and pickups and all of that. Yeah, Mary isn't going to be able to make it to Vegas. Warren says I accidentally accepted an offer going to downtown Portland hotel, but it was 11 a.m. on Sunday, so I went ahead and completed it. Nice pay, no traffic. I will have to remember that. 11 a.m. on a Sunday. It's probably the only good time. Christina, shalom. How are you? When you guys go to Vegas, I'm going to send a few bucks. I'll split the profits if we win. Last good Jets quarterback's a toss-up with Pennington and Sanchez. How I know? Because I'm a Jets fan. Nick, nobody's perfect. I'm just messing with you. Kidding me, there's Browns fans out there. This is our year. No, they just felt so bad that they decided to have that reality show covering the Brown Stadium. Sanchez was a good quarterback. I don't remember Pennington very much, though. Spark has improved substantially since they started the real driver's license or whatever that's called. Yeah, they're actually doing a good job of cutting stuff, cutting the crap down. I always say to myself, I need to be more like. Oh dear Lord, no, you don't need to be more like me. As far as me staying calm with people, though, for me, my biggest thing, and that I always remember when I'm dealing with somebody who other people would probably just want to like smack, like anybody home, is the moment that I get angry, get upset, lose control with somebody else, whether it's an employee at a restaurant that I'm picking up a DoorDash order for, which mind you they don't care to begin with. When you're doing gig work, it's taking as many orders as you can, getting them completed as quick as you can, and making the most money you can is quick. So they don't care because they're getting paid hourly. Whether they work really, really hard or they just stand around, they don't care. Um, People in traffic, they don't care. They might be going to church. They might be going to the store. They might be going somewhere they don't even know where they're going. The moment, though, that I get angry, I lose control, is the moment that I give that person that I'm upset with control over my emotions. And since that person doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things in my life and what I'm doing at that moment, why am I giving them that control? They're not family. They're not a friend. They don't care, and that's just it. When you're out in public, most people just go about there and mind their own business. They don't care. So I just choose not to give them control over my emotions. Warren says I'm calm in traffic unless I get behind someone with a Washington license plate. Well, Warren, I can say the same about Oregon drivers in Washington. Apparently, there's a um, what was that program in school where you'd send a foreign exchange student? Yes, we have a foreign exchange program between Washington and Oregon, where Washington sends their idiot drivers over there, and Oregon sends theirs over here. Um, Drain the swamp. There's a couple here. I'm not dealing with passengers, but I'm still dealing with traffic, and that's a lot, and no matter where you're at. Yes, because in this day and age, they will literally just give anybody a driver's license. I swear there's no tests involved anymore. There's no written test, there's no driving test. The only test is hey, you have a pulse. Here's your license. Good luck, Sparky. Yeah, I can stream it. We can have a whole slot machine group poll. Is that what they call them? Tenley, how are you doing? Or more like your wife, cool, calm, and collected. It's okay to be like Charlie. He's cool and whatever keeps you calm. Yvonne, it is hard for a guy to hear. You should be more like your wife. In the same way that it would be very well, a man would be taking his life into his own hands if he looked at his girlfriend or his wife and says, "You should cook like my mother." I would see a funeral in the future there. Um, Noticed this difference. I don't see the same four SUVs parked with temp tags. All Toyota make and same model. There's the Ukrainian Prius mob here. There's about four or five guys that all line up together and talk with one another, and they're all in Priuses, and they're all speaking Russian or some form of that. So I'm like, must be a slow day. Eric, how's it going? Right chair is a good way now. It really is. And you get all kinds of people in your car, good, bad, mostly good. I've had some great conversations with people, complete strangers. Mary says my average Spark order is $10 to $20 more. It's so much better now. Oh yeah, it's been the orders have been actually pretty decent. The only ones I don't like are like the big .com orders where you're it's like one pickup and like 15, 20 drop offs. Those ones the pay isn't the best. I've taken one. I've taken one of those because I did an order here at the Walmart right down the street from me. It was one pickup, two drop off. And where I dropped the second one off, I was like a mile away from another Walmart. So uh, they ended up sending me one of those orders. It was like 17 drop offs. But it was taking me right back here where I wanted to be at. So I'm like, well, it's like 57, like 57, $58. It's going like 38 miles. It wasn't, trust me, it wasn't great, but it put me right back to where I wanted to be. So I mean, it worked out. Earl, how you doing? Rob, what's going on? I miss your pyramid. There's only one bad word: taxes. Anytime I'm doing a DoorDash order now and I see the take photo of the area to find other, I, I go around Swanson again and I'm like, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Don't give a man a fish, or don't teach a man to fish, and you feed yourself. He's a grown man, and fishing's not that hard. I need to get that up. I need to get. I've been meaning to do a whole live stream setup. I need to do that. Had a tidbit the other night, and dark thoughts of what to do to their property floated through their mind. I had that crosses my mind too. No, I believe in karma. It's real. I did get an order yesterday. Dollar to mile without the tip was worth it, so I went ahead and took it. But they tipped $1. It wasn't even a shopping order. It was just a regular curbside pickup order. But I'm like, what's the point in even tipping $1? Like somebody's driving to the store, picking up your order, and bringing it to you, and you're like, he deserves $1. What are you, like 120? Like a dollar tip was like, that's how it was. It's like the 60s, 70s, 80s. It's like, hey, here's a buck. It's like getting $5 now. No one is perfect. I'll cheers to that. When Pennington was done with the Jets, he went to the Reds. Okay, that's right. Wasn't there late 80s, early 90s SNL skit? Oh, yeah, there was. I saw that a while back. I saw that skit a while back on here on YouTube. Cauliflower asks, hey, question. Since I just got on DoorDash, do you all do the Crimson card or do you once a week? Haven't decided. Looks like Yvonne does Crimson. Don't encourage her. Some people need their money sooner and choose the card thing. Yeah, it just it all depends. Depends on your. I like my money in my bank account. There's been times I'll pay the $1.99 and cash out, do an instant cash out right to my bank account. Just depends. And at least how the Dasher Direct was before, you can go in and switch. So if you want to do a payout, you can switch from Dasher Direct or Crimson. Switch to do an instant payout directly to your bank. So I'm assuming that's the same way. David, what's going on? Prius is speaking Russian. What did I walk into? I was just talking about the Russian Ukrainian Prius mafia that is at Walmart. What comments got? Okay. Yeah, we don't just hand out wrenches to people. Like I made a brownie before, but that doesn't make me a Boy Scout. I don't want bits of money trickling in. I like one chunk once a week. Warren says on DoorDash, I did a Safeway delivery that went 12 miles and was within walking distance of another Safeway. Paid okay, but as soon as I hit delivered, I got a catering order going right back to my start. I don't understand why they do that. So if you do the Crimson card, you can't transfer into account, right? You got to use their card. I think there's a way in there that you can transfer it there to your bank. Whether they charge a fee or not, I don't know. With Spark, I've got the One Pay card because that's how um, Walmart does it. It's basically the same thing as a Crimson card, and then I can transfer from One Pay into my bank account, and I can do it basic transfer for free, which takes 3 to 5 days, or I can do an instant transfer, and that depends on how much I'm transferring. Fishing is very hard when you don't want to touch the worm or the fish, but I just enjoy fishing. I need someone to do both. Well, you could just lay the worm out and poke it with the hook and twist it, and you don't actually have to. I've seen people do that. As far as like not touching the fish, though, I think you would need somebody else. You can also use KFC fried chicken. Could probably try Popeye's chicken too. Uber Eats alcohol order, knocked on door, no answer. Called customer, no answer. Message customer, no answer. You didn't send a smoke signal though. Waited allotted time per app. Return liquor. Back to store. Customer called support to complain why a delivery was not made. I'm like, really? Driver can only do so much. Yes, I've had that happen before, and on DoorDash. And an hour later, I get a phone call, and I could tell it was from DoorDash because it was a 650 or 6 whatever area code. And so I answered it, and it was like, yes, this is DoorDash customer support. I'm like, why is customer support contacting me? And they're like, we're calling about so-and-so's order. I'm like, okay. I'm like, are you able to deliver that? I'm like, no. I attempted that drop off an hour ago. There was no answer. There was no answer to the call, to the text. It was a secure apartment building. The call box, there was no answer on the call box either. I waited the allotted time and then some, and no. Not doing it. So even in that system, DoorDash, I was expecting Dasher support to call me. No, it was actually customer support. I'm like, I already got paid. And I got to dispose of the alcohol, if you know what I mean. Um, what is my phone doing? What are you 100? Today I feel like I'm 120. Did 2 spark orders, came home, mowed, trimmed, uh, fixed a flower box, and put weed killer down. So I like manual labor. I actually like manual labor. And my fingers are healing up very nicely. On Spark, you have to accept everything if you want a $300 day. Yeah, I'm not accepting everything. They sent me like a 876 14-mile one order curbside today. Oh. Then they sent me a couple $57 49-mile like 15 drop-off orders. I'm like, no. I'll go ahead. Like I said, I've done one. I'll do them depending on where it's actually leaving me. But if it's leaving me in Sasquatch country, where it's 30 minutes to the closest Walmart, I'm not doing that. Get this on occasion. The customer will tip well, but will leave a penny with their tip. Why leave the penny? Sometimes sometimes you get those weird people that round everything up. So their bank account, you look at their bank account and it's like exactly you know, $1,342 or, you know, whatever. They just don't like, why do I have $1,302.73 in my account? David, you made doing mostly Uber Eats and made 200. I haven't seen somebody do that well on Uber Eats. The catering love affair is over. Yeah, I haven't seen a catering order in quite a while. Historically, leaving a penny at a restaurant meant bad service. Yes. DoorDash sent me an invite into their secret catering program. Well, look at David. He's special. Um, Blonde Aussie got invited to a special program, I think. DoorDash doesn't like me, and that's okay because the feeling's mutual. Lisa, how are you doing today? Michael, what's going on? I always sign on at the right times. Don't get me started on fishing. Okay, I won't. Uh, I'll keep that in mind. And Michael says, I think they were passed out drunk. Probably. So you escaped that. How's Lisa doing tonight? Love wins. How are you doing? Yesterday I had a Spark order and I needed a PIN code from the customer. Knocked 2 times. I then finally look at the paperwork on their door. It was an eviction notice. I shouldn't be laughing. I should feel really bad, but doing yard work tomorrow. What kind of weed killer? Looking for something that isn't too toxic. Oh, what the heck did I use? I know there is a kind of a weed killer that you can make at home. Oh, for the love of God, I did not mean to click on that. Apparently, you can make because we have to make another weed killer that's safe to put down in the backyard where the dogs are. If you use vinegar, table salt, and dish soap, apparently that will kill weeds. So if you want a safe option and you can make as much of it as you want, I would recommend that. There's some weed killer recipes online. Most of them have vinegar as I think the main ingredient. Yes, or just get some dogs and make sure they, as Ryan says. Jason, you did a small delivery. I live in a small town and the roads are really nice. I can cover 80 miles per hour, no traffic, 15 orders a day on Nice. Yeah, not this area. Well, if I think it would be possible. Sundays are generally the busiest days here. Sundays and Mondays. But Michael says, I didn't get no email and I'm special. Hey, we're all special. Each in our own individual, unique way. We're all special. I've got four dogs myself. They don't want anything to do with the weeds down by the culvert. Yeah, I would recommend. Yeah, there's some homemade recipes that you can do. Oh, David, I don't think it was a catering deal. It was something else. She does mostly Instacart and really kills it on there. Yeah, Ryan's AR is at 92%. Took that Spark order right back to Walmart. I was okay getting that return pay because the employees and I have a good relationship to where they like to hear something interesting. Nick, that's what it's all about. I've got a couple employees at this Walmart that it, if I see them coming out with my order, I'm like, sweet. I get excited, seeing a couple of them. There's a couple of them that will bring orders out, and when I see them coming to my car, I'm like, please, please be going to the car next to me, not me, not me, not me. Oh, they're making. Oh no. Now I gotta pretend to be nice. They're just not friendly people. They're like Eeyore. Like, hey, how's your day going? Because I actually enjoy talking to people. So I'll hop out. I'm like, hey, how's your day going? They're like, oh, it's going. So how long you worked at Walmart? Because in my head I'm going, because it sounds like they've already sucked your soul. But there's a couple that they come out with my orders. It's like, hey, how's your day? You don't want to know. I'm like, oh, really? It's going that good? Like, hey, it's Walmart. It's character builder, teaches you patience. Vinegar, salt, and water. When I started delivering, AR rate was 95. Learned to be more selective. AR 27 at church. Hey, mine's at 42. I did get it back up to 46, and then yeah, it's down at 42. I don't take trash orders. They just don't send me much trash, luckily. Yeah, you're in a really good area, Ryan. Don't kill dandelions. The bees need them, or else we all won't be eating if bees are dead. Yes. And dandelions, apparently you can make dandelion tea. Omar, que pasa, brother? What's going on? Market must be slower than Ryan. DoorDash always has orders to give out. Grocery store vinegar won't kill weeds, it just turns them into a salad. But industrial vinegar. Yeah, it's gonna be like 5%, 5% acidic. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of recipes online. What happens if you get it on your skin, Warren? You like turn into Michael Jackson? Yeah, Ryan gets lucky. Like 90% of his orders are shopping orders. So I cannot not be nice. Oh, Yvonne, I could be a sarcastic prick if I wanted to be, but I generally just choose to just not say anything. It's hard for me though because basically anybody who watches this channel knows my face will say what my mouth doesn't. So it's very hard for me to bite my tongue. It's like I'll just try to avoid eye contact with people. Mary, you shut down your eBay store after 26 years? Why'd you do that? Spark is different than DoorDash. If you accept every just for you, we'll get better orders. That's how it works. Okay. I'm still not going 15 miles per $8.76 though. So I was having to wait at the store for like 15 minutes to be able to confirm that I'm at the store. And then, yeah, I'm like, no, not 8 7, no. But I would agree. I've had days where I've accepted every single order, and it's mostly because they just send me a really good order to start with. No, we're going to go about 8 more minutes. Yeah, we're doing 90-minute lives now. Been meaning to mention, love that Back to the Future poster, one of my favorite all-time movies. Wife bought me Back to the Future t-shirt recently. Okay, now I'm jealous. I don't have a Back to the Future t-shirt, but I need to get one. Get one with Doc Brown saying, "Great Scott." It's not sarcasm, it's brashness. Potato, potato. No sales. I've heard because I follow some resellers on YouTube, and yeah, some they've been saying it's been getting a little rough lately. I've got to dig every order tomorrow. I'm only at 400 this week. I'm definitely not at 400 for the week, but well, it's weird because now I'm technically Sunday. Now that I'm taking Saturdays off, now that I'm taking a day off during the week, um, Sundays are like my Mondays. So, and Saturdays are my Saturday and Sunday. Makes sense. Really want to test out if accepting just for use really does give you better orders, but it's so difficult to accept some of those orders, and my reflexes hit reject. Yeah, that I've had to. I've had a couple of those. No. Yeah, I don't know. Quinn, ever go live outside? I thought about it actually tonight. One of these times we'll go live outside. It's easier to do now that it's staying darker later. We'll be going live outside in Vegas. The Book of Brash, Chapter 1. got to be careful about what I say now. Imagine taking a day off. Yeah, Ryan, you work basically every day that ends with Y. I'm gonna make like a treat and get out of here. Omar, brother, always good to see you. Yeah, we'll go live. We'll go live outside. I'll take plenty of days off soon, so I'm working every one until then. Yeah, and I'm going to be working in Vegas while we're there. Michael, have a good night. Ryan rides a unicycle. And a clown nose. Is it a get out of my way? I work every day, but that's fixing to change. I need to go video for my channel. Yeah, well, I got to stop working every day. I made progress. I'm now taking 1 day off a week. At some point, I might take 2, maybe. But 2000 Explorer. Yeah, definitely not fuel efficient. Michael, have a good night. Fortnite for a bit. I'll see if I can't jump on there. I gotta chow down on some food though. Spark claims that AR doesn't matter, but there's an asterisk next to AR. So somewhere in the algo it does matter. That is, yeah, that's very true. James, appreciate it. Have a good night. Be safe as well. Yeah, taco night. I did have some chips and salsa today, but it's about as Feliz Navidad as I've got. So I'm gonna jump off here though and go get some food because I probably. Mary just started playing Fortnite. Mary, you're gonna have to message me your gamer tag. AR matters if you want over every 300. Adam, I do not understand the words that came out of your fingers. Cauliflower, thank you. DoorDash Fortnite clan going on. That's right. Ryan, have a good night. Yeah, guys, we will see you all next Tuesday. We'll see you in the comments tomorrow. But I'm going to get some food and do something. So, I'm going to finish editing video so you guys have something to watch tomorrow. I will see you guys then. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.